Good morning, welcome to Planet Mojo. Today, I'm going to burn this foxtail. First thing I need to do is do a little bit of back burning. This entire patch can burn without doing any damage at all to any other places because it has a buffer zone all the way around it of green grass, except for this. This is going to come out of here next year, but if the grass burns right up to the cedar tree, it could just light this thing right on fire. So I'm going to have to get in here. I'm going to pull some of it and then do a quick little back burn. I have my mud flap for slapping out the fire. Once I get a good deal away from the tree, then I don't have to worry about it. And there's a couple other things here. The grass is right underneath that oak tree. It still has its leaves on, and I don't want those lighting on fire. I don't think it's going to reach that high, but I'm going to do a little bit of back burning underneath there. Just light it and then put it out with the mud flap right away and get the stuff underneath it burned. Then I have that and that. And what I found, I just have this piece of duct here, and what I'm going to do is try to back burn around both of these as well. Everything else should be fine. That birch tree could actually light on fire, as well as that cedar tree right there. Both of those are coming out, but I really don't want those lighting on fire either. So I'm probably going to have to go along the edge there and do a little back burning the whole way, and then around that tree, then come up here and do both of these. And then after that, I can just let the whole thing burn. This is really crazy. Izzy went way down into the woods, and she's been so afraid lately. But yesterday, she went walking with me twice, and we walked down our normal path down the road, and we played with sticks and the whole 9 yards, and she wasn't afraid. Well, she was back to her normal afraid. That's a good girl. You can hang out, honey. That's my good, brave dog. That's my brave dog. Okay, so I'm going to give it a shot. I think I'll start right here. I'm going to light up my torch and then have my mud flap at the ready, and then try lighting this and then putting it out right away and see if I have any problems. In the areas that I back burn, I think I'll just pull some of this foxtail, this really long stuff, so I can get a buffer zone around what I'm burning. We'll see how it goes. But first, I'm going to start burning right here. I'll start with that little stuff. That can't go anywhere. This can't go anywhere. And then I'll work my way down into this. The reason I'm burning today is because the wind is coming out of that direction, out of the east, and it rarely does that. That way I can start along this edge, and it's not going to flare up. It's going to be burning into the wind, and that's how you have to do it. So I'm going to work this way. I have kind of a natural block here. If things start getting out of hand, I'll have, like I said, I'll have my mud flap at the ready, and I'll put it out if it's starting to get crazy. I'm not going to be burning down in the woods at all. All this stuff here is going to get sprayed with Tenacity next year to get rid of the foxtail, and it should all be perennial rye next year. Same with them other areas. That's going to be buffalo grass over that way. This will eventually be buffalo grass as well. So in the burned areas, it'll make it a lot easier to spray the Tenacity next year. I'll be able to hit the ground with it. I can't do that with all this grass in the way. So let's just see how it burns, and if it's working out good, I'll get all this stuff along the edges here, get it all burned up. Okay, so far so good. I'll probably come back in here and burn a little bit more of this stuff. I'd kind of like to get rid of all the foxtail. That's just to let me know where I need to pay attention next year, where I need to spray the Tenacity. All I'm doing is, in these burnt spots, I'm going to spray Tenacity next year so the foxtail doesn't come up. And anywhere there is foxtail, where it does make it through, I'll just hand pull it. It's really not that hard. And foxtail is pretty evident. You can see it from a ways away. None of this stuff is foxtail. This is all, that's rye right there. There's some little blue stem, big blue stem. These are all prairie grasses now. All the foxtail is burnt out. If I spray the Tenacity, this perennial rye should take over. The foxtail was mainly in that burn pile, and the road. When they put this road in, the edge was disturbed, so there was a lot of foxtail right along the edge. Foxtail is generally only in disturbed areas like that. Once your perennial grasses take over, like down in there, you don't see any foxtail. So hopefully next year I'll have little to none. This, I'm trying to get all of this stuff right around the house. I'm trying to get this all buffalo grass, but the seed's so damn expensive, and it was a little bit hard to germinate this year. Hopefully this all comes back. It had a little spot here, and a little spot here, and a fair spot here. This is like a pile of dirt from when he made this road right here. So, like I said, as soon as the foxtail is gone from all the construction and stuff, it's not going to come back. Okay, this is the bigger problem. What I'm going to need to do is get in here and backburn this area right underneath the tree here. This tree is dead, but it'll just go up like a blowtorch. Same thing with these leaves on the oak tree. I'm going to have to get in here and carefully backburn, light it a little bit, put it out, light it a little bit, put it out, until I got a ring around this where it's not going to burn. And then I got to do the same thing over there on that cedar, that pipe, and that other pipe. Then I want to burn this in sections if I can, but I got to start at the top. If I start down here, it's just going to blaze like crazy because the wind is coming from this direction. You always want to burn into the wind. Then the wind keeps the fire nice and low. If I were to just walk in here with the torch and start lighting this bottom end right now, this would just go up in a huge blaze, and I don't want that. So let's get started. I'm going to start coming in right here and get around this cedar, and then work my way to the other side, then come back and get these pipes. right, the foxtail is burned out. So now what I'm going to do is go back at, like this right here, I'm going to throw perennial rye seed. Around the tree there, I'm going to put buffalo grass seed, but I got to see what happens. I planted buffalo grass there last year, and most of that should come back up, so I might not have to plant on the other side of the tree. That stuff over there is going to get replanted in perennial rye again. You could see the green spots, that's where the perennial rye took, and this foxtail just kind of took over things. And that's because I was working on this and other stuff, and I just couldn't get to hand yanking it. You can control the foxtail just by hand yanking it. It looks like it's a huge bunch of them, but it's actually just single plants that have lots of stems on them. Oh, there's probably none to look at. I think I burned them all. And foxtail likes to grow where things were disturbed, like I told you earlier. Fire pit there, fire pit over here, and this stuff was all dozed last year. And that stuff was freshly dozed as well. So as perennial grasses grow in, the foxtail will just naturally go away. You'll get one here and there, and if you hand yank them before they go to seed, pretty soon you won't have any at all. Now this area here, I had planted, I can't remember how much, but that's buffalo grass as well, and that better come back. It was doing pretty good, and then the foxtail took over, and I had planned to go out and start pulling the foxtail, but I just never got to it, and that's what happens. That was all foxtail. Well, it wasn't all foxtail. The finer stuff at the bottom is actually the buffalo grass. The buffalo grass is a warm season grass, so you can burn it. So the buffalo grass should come back, but how well, I have no idea. It's going to be interesting to see what happens here next year. These inspection ports, the toastiness on the inspection port, that actually happened last spring when Natalie and I cleared this area down here. We burned this, and I forgot that there was ports in here. These ports, what I'm going to do is cut these off level with the ground, and then it'll be a lot easier to cut the grass here too. And then when I burn, I'll just put like a old frying pan or something over them. Just get a frying pan at a rummage sale or something like that, and then just drop it over the top of it. This one is a vent. Same thing, I'll just get this one going straight up and cut it down yay high, and just put something better than this, a little bit bigger around than this, and that should protect it next time I burn. But I don't anticipate burning here a whole lot. Like I said, this is all going to be buffalo grass here. This is a septic mound, so you don't want any grasses that have really long roots on them, like little blue stem, big blue stem, Indian grass. All of them have really long roots, up to 12 feet, and they would clog the thing up in no time. So this is going to be buffalo grass and blue grama, and that's it. And I'll cut it once in a while if I can, but it really doesn't matter. It only gets 6 to 12 inches tall. This will be regular prairie grasses back in here, but I would like them to be shorter varieties because I will be burning here. So this actually will turn out to be a buffer at some point, and the burning will happen back there. I got to have buffer zones all over the place and then just burn in little patches. This is kind of a big patch to be burning, but the wind was just perfect, 4 or 5 miles an hour coming straight at us, so I could light it up there and it would just slowly creep down the hill. Never got out of control, and I stopped it right around the cedar tree there. That is just coming out next year. I don't want to mess with trying to stop a burn around that, or I don't even want it here. I don't want cedars at all. Cedars are too big of a fire hazard to have anywhere where you're going to be burning. Like that one right there, that could just go up like a chimney. But we kind of like that one, so I'm just going to keep removing a few of these branches here and there so it's not so close to the ground. And we'll just have low-growing grasses underneath there. So anywhere we do burn, it's just going to go around it. All right, that's beautiful. So, like I said, I'm going to spray Tenacity on this next spring, and that will stop any of the foxtail seeds. There's a million seeds in here now from all that foxtail. That'll stop it from growing early in the spring and choking out the buffalo grass. And then if I spray again after like 2 weeks, that should stop it for the rest of the summer and let the buffalo grass take hold again. And then, like I said, I'll just go in and hand yank any foxtail that makes its way through. This big prairie patch here, that's going to get burned in the spring. That should be very cool to watch. And with that, I'll just light it on one end and let it burn all the way to the other. It's got the street on one side, the grass on this side, a big buffer zone here, and a big buffer zone at the other side. Just wanted to see if this area right here needed burning. It kind of does, but I don't think I'm going to burn it. Probably in the spring. I had killed this area right here back and was going to plant it, and then I forget what happened here, but I never did plant this. Or no, I planted the wrong thing. I planted prairie smoke here thinking it was a grass, and it's not a grass. So this area, you could see the edge of it goes right through here. Those can stay. I forget what the heck that is, but that looks like a prairie grass. It looks like oh, I can't tell, but it looks like something that's gonna stay. So I'll take out this part. I'll burn this next spring as well. Just leave that stuff in the back there until I can identify it. And we got bottle brush grass. Man, did that take hold. I only planted 3 or 4 of them, or maybe a little more than that, on the other side, and just a couple in here. A little bit of foxtail here, but this stuff's gonna push it out. I got bottle brush grass in there. I'm not exactly sure what this tall stuff is, but kind of looks like Timothy. That could be another variety of foxtail. I'm gonna have to look that up. It kind of looks like foxtail at the base. Oh no, no it doesn't. Huh. All right, well, we'll leave that for another day. Yeah, this area is kind of a pain to burn because I have to take down this rope and then burn and then put the rope back up. So we'll leave that for spring. Should be a big blaze. All right, that's going to wrap it up for today. If you want to see more of this prairie restoration stuff, make sure you subscribe and click on the update icon. If you have any questions or comments, make sure you put them in the comment section below. And if you share the video and or give it a like, it helps the channel out greatly. Thanks for watching and have a great day.